Annapolis town centre is over there, where you can see all those boats there to the left. So we're going through that channel there, and then over on this side here is the Naval Academy. So you see all the Naval Academy practicing outside here, and you see all the boats and the ships going up and down here. There's some more naval bases over there. So there's always something to do, as any boat owner will know, and we've been getting quite a lot done here in Annapolis. There's great chandlery shops here and lots of repair shops. So we've been busy on the boat, cleaning her, making her look nice, getting things done in the bilges, and just getting ready for the next season. So that's taking quite a while, but we're all done now and ready to explore.
You ready to go?
Ready!
I'll grab it if you want, you can grab it.
Oh, we forgot the rubbish. Brilliant editing. Hello. This is one of the really famous restaurants in Annapolis that we've been told about. O'Brien's. This is the other restaurant they were saying about, isn't it? Mugabe's. The Kunta Kite Alex Haley Memorial here in Annapolis, which might be a mouthful, has a symbolic presence, conveying national, racial reconciliation and healing. Especially dedicated to African, Asian and Europeans, to ethnic diversity, mutual respect and understanding. James and I decided to stop off for breakfast at Chick and Ruth's, an iconic Annapolis institution for over 50 years. A proper greasy spoon and a must-see if visiting the area. Needless to say, it pleased James no end. Always knew James was a bit flowery. Annapolis is named after Queen Anne, who reigned in early 1700. Sir Francis, a royal governor at the time, decided that only Baroque-style streets were fit for Queen Anne. The streets are circular, unlike the customary grid you see throughout the rest of America, making these streets particularly unique and European in feel. Quite funny because when you're walking around, everybody's talking about boats. If you're walking up the high street, if you're walking along by the water, if you're in shops, it seems boats is the thing in Annapolis. It's very boaty. Things don't ever get better unless you make them better. Very true. Here on a Saturday, every single part of this entire dock is full with boats. Small boats, big boats, you name it. People are literally jammed in here enjoying the weekend festivities.
It's called Ego Alley, this piece of water. People come here and sit on their boats and show off, I think. But also I think people sail up here as well, so I'm not sure if the Ego Alley part is for showing off or having the balls to sail up here, because there's not much room to turn around at the other side.
A lot of people do seem to sail into the creeks here, don't they?
They've got much better sailing skills than we have.
Yeah. Pussers. Pussers. Which one is it?
Something on there for you, Ruth?
Looks good.
Yeah, let's go.
Something for everyone, I think.
Caribbean grill.
I love it. Just come away from the Caribbean and now it's Caribbean food in America. So much history, isn't there, in Annapolis?
Yeah.
We're still having trouble saying the word Annapolis.
1893. There's the church
Oh,
square,
yeah.
you know? Hasn't changed that much.
No. Apart from the horse and cart and the cows.
Yeah. It's got the old British Navy there.
That's his rum?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
British?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Hang on. This is not like
No, but
Birmingham
a
British,
lot of
is
the
it?
rums had British connotations because the British sea captains brought the rums back to the UK. That's fact. That's fact. It comes back from when we had
Did you
ships
just
out
hear
here.
my non-answer
No,
there?
no. Honestly, it's fact. It is fact.
Okay, people. Is this up for debate?
I was wondering when they're going to come in.
Yeah, we were arguing outside actually about the rum. So because it's got a British flag on it, hasn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I understood that it was when England had an interest in the Caribbean, a lot of the captains would bring rum back to the UK. And then
I haven't heard that story, but
Do you know why?
I
Story.
know it was you. It's the Pusser's rum is the original recipe from the British Royal Navy way back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So, and it was the purser that gave out the daily ration of rum.
Right.
And of course, you know, the crew being being very drunk, couldn't say Pusser, so it was purser. So they went.
I'm not even drunk and I can't say it.
Purser's rum.
No, it's Pussers.
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 Oh gosh, that doesn't sound very good, is it? Pussers?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say I was half right.
Of course. It actually says here the Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in the United States. The watershed covers 64,299 square miles in the District of Columbia and part of 6 states. More than 150 rivers and streams drain into it. So currently, we're here.
Oh, this is nice.
Lovely.
Can I get a rum and coke, a Pusser's rum and coke, please?
Pussers one.
Pussers? Is it Pussers?
Yeah, pussers.
We'll have to ask.
Because it's pussers.
Pussers?
No, it's pussers.
There's a purser in the Navy.
No, pusser. She said it was pusser. The lady said it was pusser.
Okay, let's ask this lady. Is it Pusser, Pusser, Pussers? Pussers. What did I say? What did I say?
Pursers.
I said Pussers. Did I?
It's on record, you little monkey.
Whatever I said was probably right.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, it's nice. Do you want to share the crab dip for a starter?
You're absolutely obsessed with the crab dips.
Well, it is good. I mean, every restaurant I've been to, I've tried the crab dip. It's been really good.
Ever
And
since we've been to
they are
Chesapeake.
mad for crabs in Chesapeake. Every restaurant you go to, they try and sell you crab cakes.
And it's really
they're
mad
good.
as well,
They are
isn't
really
it?
good.
Because you don't see it in England, do you, anywhere?
No, but I mean, the crab is really, really good here, but we've eaten a lot of crab. What do you think of this crab dip?
Very nice.
But nice, isn't it?
Beautiful. We just came back to find loads of Cheerios in the boat where some kiddie has been chucking in to feed the ducks. A whole load of Cheerios. After dinner, we decided to go on a dinghy sunset cruise and take the long way home round the harbour of Annapolis. Where did we have dinner, Ruth?
At Pussers. Pussers. Pusser. Pussers.
Pussers.
Pussers. It's got its paddle boards on the outside, the sides of it.
That's quite big.
Yeah, very big.
remember we had a problem with our cruising chute the other month when we were coming from Dominican Republic to the Bahamas. We had an absolute nightmare. It was quite frightening, and we came up with several theories as to what was going wrong with the cruising chute. We couldn't understand it at the time. The cruising chute wouldn't furl, and we were under extreme pressure. We have Chuck on board today with us, and he's going to help us with the cruising chute and show us what was wrong. We're here that's done that.
I think we'll do that then. We'll go down there and spend a few days there because we want to wait for the wind to be either on our beam or behind us, so we can.
They like a boat that's been turned into a bar here, don't they?
Yeah.
There's one.
Well, they've got enough boats to choose from, haven't they? No, it's in Deal. Deal.
Just go straight line. I'm paranoid of all the trap lines.
Yeah, you get caught up at night.
I don't want to.
Chuck is from Chesapeake Sails. He is a professional sailor, a professional sailmaker, and blew us away with his knowledge. No pun intended. We're just watching out for all of these buoys. Chuck was just telling us that they are all different colours because the fishermen have their own flags as their own possession, if you like, so they know whose is whose. But as you can see, that's super hard to see from a distance. And the last thing we want to do today, when Chuck is with us, is go over a log support.
Just flip that inside the deck, just so get it into your profit off. One of the things that looked a little sketchy was the pin at the head of this. There's like you had the wire kind of run through there. So maybe if you have any like white electrical tape, maybe we'll tape that off.
Okay.
Just to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
I remember my parents, when they got older and all the kids had moved on, they went from a sailboat to a powerboat. And we always joked with my dad and said, you know, you had trouble making decisions at like 7 knots. I can't imagine at 27 knots, like how much faster you have to make a decision on what to do.
To be fair though, all you've got to do is steer and throttle, haven't you? So you haven't got to think about the wind and the sails and.
Right, there's not as much to think about, but it's just like my dad. Clearly, he just loved going fast. All of a sudden, because you spend your whole life going like 7 knots. All of a sudden, boom, I can go 27 whenever I want to. And he was glued to his chart. He loved his gadgets, so he was glued to the chart plotter of the instruments. And I grew up without anything, so I'm always used to just looking out. Okay, so we're dead downwind. Let's turn a little bit to port, James. Maybe like we'll go like 15 degrees to port. So the sheet, whenever I set it, I always pull the slack out.
Yeah.
So it starts to fill and gets under control right away.
Yeah. I just said to Chuck, I'm getting nervous putting her up. Are you?
No, because I've got him with us. Okay, you ready, Chuck?
When we arrived in America, we sent the cruising chute off to Chesapeake Sails to see why the anti-torsion rope snapped and to repair the damage to the sail. Chuck discovered that we had been fitted with the wrong anti-torsion cable.
You had just the one sheet on the sail?
Yeah, usually that's.
So let's do this. Let's try and work your furl here, okay? Yeah. And then we'll jibe and go this way.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So when we go to furl, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to ease this out and let the sail become like a flag almost. Okay. I don't like to go dead downwind when I furl, because the boat will start following the spinnaker. So we'll let it go out, let it become like a very soft fluff, and then we'll furl.
Okay.
So I'm going to dump this out. Tell me when you're ready to go.
I'm ready when you are.
Go ahead.
Start furling?
Yep.
The Selden Staylock termination fitting should have been fitted with a cable that has a solid centre core with a heat-set outer core of SK78 Dyneema, which has an additional wrap to keep fibres in compression before reaching the outer polyester cover. The SK78 Dyneema handles high loads, and its solid core keeps the line from deforming or compressing under load. In our case, the torsion cable that was fitted originally was a Marlow Pro Drive, which had no solid core, no heat setting, or secondary wrapping of fibres. Had we been fitted correctly with the proper Selden torsion line, specifically engineered to work with this top-down furling system, the incident would not have occurred.
If I made it, I would have made the clue about 5-6 feet lower than what it is.
Right, that makes
and you
sense.
would have kept more even foot tension and leech tension.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the high clue is it's really good for running downwind, like when you're sailing,
Yeah.
but it's not as good furling.
Yeah.
And so what I usually do is I'll make the clue lower, and then I tell my clients, when you go deep downwind, instead of trimming it from back here, leave it here, but have like a short little cheater line that you put on the midship sleeve. And then you can pull it down. We call it a twing when we race.
Yeah.
You can use that twing line to pull tension on the leech.
So it's almost just tightening it more.
Because what happens is when you go downwind, if the clue's too low and you're trimming from back here, as soon as you ease, you're letting the leech get looser and it dumps pressure out of the spinnaker.
Right.
And so by moving the leech further forward, you can keep tension down on the leech. That keeps pressure in the sail and lets the sail go rotate out in front of the boat.
Yeah.
But when you're making passages, and if you have a second sheet, you can actually jibe this, and the sail's big enough that I would, if it were me, I would jibe it rather than throw it in and unfurl it again.
Oh, okay.
And what you'll do is you'll jibe it inside. So not take your sheet, Olivia, did I get that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to drive, I'll show you up front, James, how the sheet would run.
Yeah.
But it's very easy, especially with your setup. For like one person with the autopilot, you'll figure out, okay, we're going to make a 70-degree turn for the jibe, and you'll hit that plus or minus 10 button 7 times. And one person can ease, and then pull the slack out of the other sheet.
Oh, really?
And the sail will turn inside out and jibe literally on its own.
Goes on the outside.
No, it goes on the it goes outside the head stay, but inside of itself.
Wow.
And that's what I was going to show you up front. I'll show you how the sheet leads.
Okay.
And the nice thing about jibing inside is
That sounds like it might make a complete tangled mess.
You'll have like 5-6 seconds where it looks like everything's gone wrong.
Yeah.
And then what happens is upwind when you tack, because you're sailing into the wind changes direction more quickly. When you're sailing away from the wind and you jibe, it takes longer for that wind change to hit your sail and fill your sail up.
Right.
And so basically your other sheet runs outside.
Yeah.
And you can envision the sails out over here.
Yeah.
The lazy sheet is going to come through here.
Yeah.
So it's inside of this, in front of the head stay, and it just goes out. And so now, as you come from, say, a reach and you go dead downwind, the clue is going to rotate out here as you ease the sheet.
Yeah.
And now this sheet, and this, instead of being a straight line, is going to actually be filled with wind and go away from the boat.
Yeah.
And so now you're pulling sideways through here.
Yeah.
And as long as you get the clue, I would say if you get the clue back towards this stanchion, you would be fine. And then when the boat
so you're
turns,
you're at that point, you're dead downwind, and then you turn the boat once the clue's here.
Yeah. So no, this is why I tell people use the autopilot the first time.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the autopilot doesn't know anything's happening. It just makes that steady turn.
Yeah.
And so you work the sheets, and or maybe both of you, but what happens is the boat turns to dead downwind. So if you're going 140 degrees, you make a 70-degree turn.
Yeah.
You're going to end up, 80-degree turn. You'll end up at, 140 on the other jibe.
Yeah.
And so I tell people 70-degree turn is to give you a nice angle on your jibe. And so as the boat starts turning, you're easing. When you get to the point where you're dead downwind, there's very little load in the spinnaker. You literally take the old sheet completely off the winch, just let it be free.
Right.
And the whole time you're easing, you're keeping the slack out of the new one.
Right.
So you're just pulling slack to keep it.
Yeah.
What do you do with the other sheet though?
So the other sheet, right as you get dead downwind, it's off the winch and it's free to go like you're tacking a Genoa.
Yeah.
The new sheet, then you pull like crazy to just, while it's unloaded dead downwind, to pull it across and over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as the boat continues to turn,
With the autopilot, it's a constant turn. You're just adjusting the sheets based on when you're dead downwind, and then so you don't stop or anything. It's a constant turn.
It's a constant turn with the autopilot.
Yeah.
And so as the boats turn, you're ease. They let the spinnaker be dead downwind.
Yeah.
Pull the slack out of what's going to become the new sheet.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're dead downwind. The sail's the most unloaded. Then take it off the old winch and just pull. And usually the electric winch might not be fast enough. I don't know if you have the fast speed on that one.
No, we only got one speed on them.
So what I would say is go with 2 wraps and just pull. While it's like pull like crazy, and then finish it up on the autopilot.
Okay. Okay, we're fine on the charts.
Look, but you were exactly right. You kind of nodded over.
Yeah, it was like.
That's why when I throw back in, you cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Pull the throwing line.
Well done.
6 or 8 foot piece of line.
I thought you said, can you just grab a glass of wine? Is what I thought you said.
A little early for me yet, but after that workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in neutral. 5.6 in a minute. Yeah.
Furthest 5 degrees more to starboard.
Okay.
Eight, 9 knots. I think you could furl it right up front. And probably remove half the friction in the system, and you get long pulls at one shot.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'd try that in the lighter breeze and just see how it works for you.
Yeah.
In heavy breeze, it's always going to furl tighter because there's just a lot more load in the sail. In light breeze, it'll furl a little bit fatter.
But basically, we want to dump this and then put some tension on it once it starts.
Once you start getting that wrap going, then you can put some tension back on this.
Yeah.
It's still, the clue's still really high for my taste.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if the clue were like almost 10 feet lower.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't upset me.
Yeah.
But I think having this works pretty nicely, just having a little
downward pressure.
Yeah, that works a dream actually.
And that'll be nice even when you're sailing offshore downwind.
Yeah.
That'll actually stabilize that clue from oscillating as much also.
Oh, okay.
So I think something,
something like that.
Obviously it adds a little bit of friction to the system, but it's just, you're not adjusting it or trimming it all that much.
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
so if you do that, you just get a little bit of twist out of the sail. It'll make it oscillate less, and make actually under autopilot, make the boat probably sail better under autopilot.
So would you set the sail first and then put that on?
And then just put that on.
Yeah.
And if you're going to jibe, if you're going to work on jibes, you don't want that on for the jibing.
Yeah.
Because it'll be too much friction for the line. Because when you ease this line, you want this line to be able to run through quickly. Yeah. And that'll put too much drag on it. Very nice meeting you.
And nice to meet you. Thank you very much, Chuck. Next time, aboard Aequus, we head towards the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal, keeping it real with the jobs, and we nestle in for the night at the mouth of the Cohansey River.